So how exactly do you use a nested ruler to quilt a great border? Stick around and I'll show you. Hey guys, welcome back to Frances Quilts. Today we want to finish up this little charity quilt by quilting this border, and I can't wait to show you how it was done. If you remember, this charity quilt is made from leftover blocks from this quilt, and I had so many people asking for the pattern, I decided to put that together. So there is a pattern for this quilt that you can purchase, and I'll leave a link in the description box for that. Be sure to check it out if you're interested. But today we're going to quilt this outside border, and I use something that I have never used before, and that is a nested circle quilting ruler. Now, I have had it for a long time, didn't have a clue how to use it, but I figured it out, and man, do I like it. This border was fun to quilt, it was easy to quilt, and I just can't wait to show you how well it worked. So first, let's go talk about nesting rulers, and then we'll head to the machine. So have you ever used a nested ruler? I bought this nested ruler several years ago, but never knew how to use it. As you can see, I haven't even peeled off all the paper that's supposed to come off of it yet. What I thought you did was this. I thought you picked out one of these rulers and you held it like this on your quilt and you quilted around it, and you moved it, or you quilted on the outside of it or something like that. But man, that was so hard to do. There was no place for your hands to rest. There wasn't enough area on the ruler to really keep it from sliding around. So obviously that was not right. So since I didn't know how to use them, I just put them aside and didn't worry about them for a long time. Then I saw somebody actually quilting with them, and this is what they did. Instead of taking just one ruler at a time, they picked what size they were going to use, and they picked several rulers that would go with it. So if I was going to make this, if I wanted to quilt even this outside edge, this gives me more rulers that I can hold on to. I might even put another one in the center there. It gives me more rulers that I can hold on to. I have more area for my hand to be on and more area where this ruler is touching the quilt, so it's not going to slide around as much. It was quite the revelation. So my final step here was to pull the ruler that I wanted to use, and then I added 1, 2, 3 more to it. So I have 4 here. That's going to give me a nice thing to hold on to, but it's not going to be so big. I don't need to be holding out here. I want to be holding close in. And to hold those together, I just took some painter's tape. Now I worried, my first thought was, oh, I can't have the tape being on this outside edge, but I'm not quilting along that outside edge. I'm only quilting in here. So that means I have this tape that is just taped down, missing this inside edge, but holding those together. So when I sit down to quilt, I can put it down, I can put my hands on top of it, and I can just quilt away very easily. All right, I've already been doing some quilting on this, and as I said in the intro, I absolutely love this idea of using this smaller circle in here. And I am going to take my first one and I'm going to place it so that it pretty much fits in that border right there. So if I come in here, I'm just going to hold down on it. I'm starting on this side over here, so I'm just going to quilt around. Then when I get back to here, I'm going to just quilt one way or the other. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to over quilt. But because I have held on to this ring really well, it means that it has not moved. So I have just traveled over those stitches that I just did. Now my next one, I'm going to move this into here. And I'm going to, let's bring it back a little bit. I'm actually going to travel back down a little bit more. I'm going to take this one and put it here so that it's going to come off of it. It's not going to be an entire circle. So this time I'm just going to come down here like this, and then I'm going to come up here and around, back up to here. Now let's move it up. Let's figure out where it will fit next. So I'm just moving my way down. Let's see, I think it needs to come up a little bit further. When I first started doing this, I was not having to make any corrections like that, which was nice. So let's bring it right here. We're going to do a smaller one right here. So we'll come up to here. Again, I'm not moving this ruler at all while I'm holding on to it. Back down to here and over. Back to there. And then someplace and stop. and then put my ruler in place again, maybe back in the center again if I want to. Let's go around again. There, and then let's come over. Again, the trick here is just to always have them overlapping somewhere. Not a whole lot of them are going right in the center. Most of them are going to one side or the other, and that's just perfectly fine because you just get a really pretty pattern with it. I'm so excited to be able to say that this quilt is now finished. I love the border design. As you saw, it was just so relaxing just to go around in circles and move the ruler a little bit and do another circle and move it a little bit and do another one. It was just a relaxing way to quilt that border, and I'm definitely going to use this idea going forward in more quilts. So when I was using that ruler, did it kind of freak you out a little bit? Are you thinking, man, I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't know where to start? Well, have I got the class for you. Keeping it straight, 8 ways to use a straight edge ruler is the best way to get into ruler quilting. The straight edge ruler is easy to use. There are a lot of things that you can quilt with it, and I think you would really enjoy this course. I'll leave a link in the description as well. Be sure and check that out. So another scrap quilt is finished. Hooray! Now it's time to move on to the next one. I'm finishing up this 2.5-inch scrap that I started several years ago, and I just want to get it finished and get it out of my studio and take some of my scraps with it. I hope you'll keep reading my blog and watching the videos so that you can learn more about the scrap quilting that's going on in this year that I have designated as the summer of the scrap. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and as always, I look forward to seeing you next time on Frances Quilts. Remember, if you like what you've seen, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please check out my website and daily blog at francesquilts.com, and I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Frances Quilts. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.